Hello and welcome again to our weekly class on the Torah portion. Today's Torah portion is Naso. I'm Sondra Baras, and we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic today. Naso means to count, and that refers to the beginning of the portion when they count the heads of the various tribes, etc. Now we're going to be focusing, though, on chapter 6, Numbers chapter 6, which talks about the laws of the Nazirite, or as it is known in Hebrew, the Nazir. Now, the Nazirite is a bit of an anomaly. We have various rules applying to different types of people in Israel. We have the priests, we have the Levites, we have Israel. They have different roles and different obligations. A Nazirite can be anybody. And a Nazirite is somewhat of an ascetic. It is a person in Israel who takes upon himself, who swears an oath to become a Nazir, a Nazirite. And he sets a certain amount of time for that Nazirite oath. It's not something that he does forever, although what our sages have said, that if he says, I will be a Nazirite, and he doesn't specify a time period, then it's assumed that he will be a Nazirite for 30 days. Anyway, let's take a look at what this Nazirite is. Now, if we are comparing a Nazirite to an ascetic or a monk or something similar to that we see in other religions, usually it's requiring of somebody to abstain from a series of worldly pleasures. And we have that to a certain degree here. If we look at chapter 6, verse 3, it is listed here what he has to abstain from wine, from whiskey, from the vinegar of wine vinegar, from anything that's connected to grapes, to wine, or to whiskey. He cannot have anything that is alcoholic beverage. The next thing it tells us in verse 5, he cannot cut his hair. He cannot shave his head or his hair. He cannot cut his hair. He lets his hair grow wild the entire period of time that he has set aside for this Nazirite oath. The next thing we learn in verse 6, that he cannot come into contact with a dead person. This is, of course, we know from previous chapters that contact with a dead person creates a sense of a status of unholiness, of impurity, and this is something that a Nazirite is not allowed to do. So even if his mother or his father or his sister or his brother are to die, he is not allowed to come near their bodies. He is not allowed to be involved in the burial process because he is within his period of the Nazirite oath.
To watch this program in its entirety, go to www.glc.us.com or simply click the link below.